Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you my favorite way to get a fine high polish on platinum. Right here I got this pusher that's going to go into a bracelet. I just got done filing this facet with a 0 file, which if you don't know is a very coarse file, and it's pretty much the roughest stage as a jeweler you're going to work in platinum with, or metal in general. So I'm going to show you how to take it from this stage of being filed with a 0 all the way to a high polish. So the first sandpaper I use after the 0 file, or after the platinum is in the rough stage, is a 220, which is pretty rough sandpaper. And after that I use 320, 800, and 2500 before the pre-polish compound, and then the final polish. You could go through all the stages from 320, 400, 600, then to 800, 1000, and so forth. But I figured out that for myself, this works well without having to use too many different types of sandpaper. And what you're basically trying to do is take away the scratches from the previous sandpaper until it's all leveled out with the new sandpaper. Because when you take away the scratches and really pay attention to the detail before polish, that's what makes the piece shine as much as possible. And when you're using all the different stages, you want to make sure you're keeping your facet as pristine and flat as possible, like you originally did while filing. Because as soon as you mess that up, the polish isn't going to look like one even plane and shine to its full potential. So the way I like to use the sandpaper is by sticking it onto a file and using it like a file. And the way I do that is I take a pair of scissors, I cut out a piece long enough that I know is going to be comfortable to hold in the file and not too much wider than the file. So something like this. Put your file in the appropriate spot with some paper sticking along the edges, and then you could go right to the bench pin, and then you just kind of poke the tip in, and when you hold it at the base, you have a little sanding stick. And then when you're done, you could easily just take it off, toss it, and put on a fresh piece without having to remove tape or glue. It's a pretty good method. And I started with the 320 instead of the 220 just for demonstration purposes of cutting it, because as you could see, the 220 is kind of curled up and messy. So yes, I've got a piece of 220 on the file, got my platinum piece and a ring clamp to hold it, and then now we just start filing while sanding. So I just got done with the 220 sandpaper. You could see that the scratches from the 0 file are gone. The light's already reflecting better. Next I'm going to use 320, then 800, and then 2500. Just going to repeat the process the same way until all the scratches are gone with the 2500. So I just got done with the 320. It's not much of a difference yet from the 220 on film, but those scratches are gone. And I'm about to move on to the 800. Here it is after 800. It's starting to get cleaner, a little hard to see on film, but all the scratches are gone from the 320 with the 800. Now it's time for 2500, which is the last one before the pre-polish. You might see some difference on camera with that. I just got done with the 2500. Now you could start seeing a substantial difference even before the polish. So you want it to look like that, the scratches to be gone as much as possible with the 2500. Now we're going to move on to our pre-polishing compound. And you could sand even finer than this to make it shinier, up to a 5000, but it's not necessary because the pre-polished compound is 4,000 to 6,000. So you choose what to do, but this is what I do. So for the pre-polish, I like to use a Japanese white compound. This one's either 4,000 or 6,000. They both pretty much do the same thing. There is even 8,000 if you prefer. So this is the next step after the 2500 to take away the scratches from the last sandpaper that you used. I'm going to use an end brush. I'm going to use the side to apply the compound like that. And then we're going to use the side of the brush to polish our piece. I just got done with the Japanese white pre-polish, and this is what our piece looks like. It's pretty much shining. All the scratches from the sandpaper are gone. Just whatever is left is from the pre-polish. So now we're going to hit it with the green platinum compound, which I use as a final, and that's going to be the last step. This is the green platinum compound I use for final. I use a soft end brush like this, and then just go over the piece like that one more time, and then it's going to shine. Alright, so this is the finish we have achieved. You could see that it's shining now after the green compound. So basically, it was just go through the stages of sandpaper, keep a flat plane as best as you can, and then use those two compounds with those brushes. That's what I typically do for my work on small flat planes, whether it's 3 stone rings, whatever it may be. You could check out some of my work on Instagram at VM_jewelry to see some more pieces aside from what's on YouTube, and I hope this helps you. Thanks for watching.